All right, welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Friday, February 2nd, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Absolutely killing it in the room this year, an active trader. 2 more winners today, and we're just piling them up. So if you guys want to get in on that, strongly encourage it. Really having a lot of fun in the room, especially seeing all the new faces in there. But anyways, let's get into it here today. So markets here having a big power surge. Obviously, we had earnings yesterday, and we're obviously negating the high from earlier this week. So we had the sell bar on Wednesday, FOMC, and obviously that has been negated. So top is not in, and that call ended up aging poorly. So markets can go higher, and but you know the thing is, I can live with this. So obviously I stopped out and took a whopping 4.7% loss, but I'm going to live with that, right? So this is a run-of-the-mill market correction here. So if we just take a fib here, if the top was in, that would be your high. You're looking at, 450. That's about a 10% or so, 8 to 10% correction versus, I used a 2X. So I had, SDS, it's 2X. I risked 4% and change for possibly 20% upside. So, some of you guys in the comments, most of you guys are cool. Some of you guys need to get help, honestly. But if you're not taking that risk reward when those situations present themselves, then you're not going to make it in this business. And that's really, the truth of it. So anyways, as far as the charts are concerned here, markets are pushing up. We got the 500 level there on the spiders, not that far away. I believe we're about to touch 5,000 on the ES, very close to that right now, about 6-7 points away. SPX, 30 points away. As we're sitting at 49.72 currently. Obviously, lots of 0DT, gamma at all those whole round numbers. There's a little bit at 49.75, which we might have to fight to get through. In fact, I would say that ES, that's probably going to kind of line up with, so I would say roughly 5,000. Maybe we get a Pierce of 49.75 here. And that kind of stalls us out. Maybe we don't hit 5,000 until Monday or Tuesday. But I would say give the market probably the upside bias into next week. Usually those pre-OPEX weeks are generally kind of buy the dip biased, assuming you don't break through support and so on the week before. But we are still seeing, I'm still standing by the call that we are seeing euphoria. Again, it's no longer even the Mag 7. It's now the Fabulous 5. It's just Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, Nvidia, and I don't even know if you can really even include Apple that much. I mean, it did have a pretty good dip buy today, and it is basically flat now. But Google, again, dip buy here, but well off the highs, and then obviously Tesla, that's just into the basement there. But either way, pretty thin leadership. IWM is still red today. It hasn't even gotten back to the flat line. But in any case, I do think that this environment here is still kind of bordering on, or it is in euphoria, kind of bordering on delusion too. So let's take a look at the ZB today. Pretty good outside move. Yields were ripping higher all day long. If we look at the TNX, big outside move there. And again, I've been saying this multiple times recently. I don't really see much downside for yields, and you just had a big surge there intraday. Take a look at the ZN. Big down move again on the non-farm payroll. That number beat by, I think, double what the market was expecting. And you're seeing the market rally up anyway. Again, on these big tech earnings, again, on thin leadership, it's not exactly healthy. But right now, the market can go higher. And it's proven that. Again, until we get another high volume reversal and follow through, the market can still hold up. So that's really the bottom line. By the way, doing this all with dollar index, literally on breakout, and the VIX still holding up. So just some things to consider there. But right now, again, obviously next psychological level is going to be 5K. And, maybe we'll say like 5,015, 5020, somewhere in that area. There's always kind of overshooting periods. It's not just going to go to 5,000 to the T and then just drop like a rock. It's gonna, it's gonna pierce a little bit, maybe overshoot. But markets here are holding up, and that's the bottom line. Looks like the Qs here are going for a close here above the all-time high as well. So we're about 7 cents above that. I don't have a next. I would say probably about, I think I had some numbers. I had to kind of define them or refine them a little bit, but right around 440, I had some mathematical resistance. We'll see how that works. I have to work those numbers out again. But triple Qs here back up to the highs. And remember, they had that lower high setup. But again, Meta and Amazon with those power moves today, really picking things up here, up 2% on the day. Again, IWM, we talked about this, still down 20 cents. This should go green here. We actually had a buy signal on this in the trading room on the 4-hour, and that is playing out pretty nicely into the afternoon here. Where can this go on the daily? Again, you got 197.50. We never really sustained above that. We closed above it one day, and then we had a secondary close, but not above the previous day to confirm it. And then big outside move down on Wednesday, and we're holding the 50 moving average. So, but that's still a level, and then 200 is still psych, and then 205 is your next psychological, or actually your next actual resistance. If it starts to head down again, you don't want to take this pivot out. We're going to 179 if that happens. The Dow here, which we also had a buy signal on, played out nicely this morning. Again, we'll just give this, I'll just say 390 right now would be your next kind of psych level. And then I'll have to work out numbers from there. But Dow is pushing up here, up 65 basis points like everything else. Maybe they even want to get this to 400. So I can't rule that out there. With the diamond, when you get to these whole round numbers, it's like the market just has to go up and touch them, just like SPX 5000. All right, SMH here, up 2% on the day, still below the high, and it's still well below the highs too. And that's even with NVIDIA pumping up pretty nicely. Again, another 5 is a free 5% for NVIDIA. But still below that pivot high there on the weekly. So it'll be interesting to see next week, can we take that out on a close? We had some good volume there as well last week. And again, maybe that wants, I think I talked about this possibly getting up to 200. So that certainly could be the case, in the next week or two. But that little pivot high is still your next level to get above, obviously, there on the SMH. For those of you who follow the stocks, you got a little gap here in the short run at 44.75 and change. But we're above the 20 moving average. We can get up there. I still think you'll probably have some resistance up here, maybe at 46. The SMH does look like it's in a little bit better shape than the stocks. Again, remember, SMH has NVIDIA heavily weighted into it. So as long as NVIDIA stays strong. By the way, I tweeted about this earlier. I said it was likely, even that dip that we got this morning was likely going to be a fake sell. One of the things I'm watching here, and you can see that it was a buy the dip, to the exact level that I talked about yesterday, 49.05 on the SPX. But two things to watch, SMCI and NVIDIA. If we're selling and those are still bidding up, it's probably a fake sell. And notice that pre-market, SMCI and NVIDIA barely down ticking at all, even after this big dump here. So watch those. Why am I saying that? Because those stocks are the new Tesla, right? Remember, Tesla is a great gauge of risk on, risk off. Not so much anymore, but SMCI and NVIDIA are that now. So I like watching those because it tells you a lot as far as the risk tolerance for the market, right? So anyway, we talked about that. IGV here, still holding up 80 basis points. What can you say? It can go higher here. It probably wants 440, and then double top is your obvious level there. For cloud software, Dow Transport's pretty good recovery. So we did have that failure, that inside bar, but it was able to put in a higher low, and we're back above 15.6. So that is an important development there for the transports. Still got a lot of resistance around 16.1, but if we can push up, they can push up to 16.6. I still like the Jets. I get a lot of questions about this. I still like the Jets for a move into the mid-20 area, right into this zone. So JETS still looks pretty good, especially on the daily and the weekly. So daily and weekly looks fine. And I think that pattern is good. All right. Let me get over here to rates. If I can get my chart up. Sorry. There we go. 2-year. Again, big outside move here. Again, I've been saying this for a while. I don't see a lot of downside past this area. And even though we had that kind of attempted breakdown the last 2 days, right back up. So 2-year climbing, 5-year climbing. Look at where it went. Finally touched that yellow level. Big outside move. 10-year, higher low. Never got down to the yellow line. 30-year never got close. But again, I don't really see downside here for yields. Even if they do, they're not going to stay down for long. So you guys know that. And I'm sticking to that. XHB here up 33 cents. That looks like it wants to try and push up. Again, I would prefer this 20 MA to catch up to price. Otherwise, I think it'll be short-lived. But again, consolidation pattern, nothing wrong with that. It's still acting well. VNQ, where did it go? Look at that. Went right to our level again and bounced off that. So that can still go higher next week. So VNQ's in decent shape. I don't think that's terrible. I actually kind of like that test candle. Even on the weekly here, test inside bar, spike the low, get a few shorts on board, and then you can go the other way. Again, I'm not saying it does, but it can do that. XLF here up 29 cents. Again, that can still get to 40. I think there was that next weekly level right up there, big weekly pivot there, right around $40 on the XLF. So we'll give it the upside bias there. KRE, decent recovery here, but still weak. I will say, it looks like for now it's going to hold that level. So 48.29. We're 10 cents above that. We got 30 minutes left. They'll probably hold it. So closing below that would be a negative. But I think they'll hold it here into the end of the day. KBE, same thing. That is much above that level, and it's fine. So those should be okay for now. They're at least, I mean, they definitely did some technical damage. Pretty good outside move, but on the weekly, they're still okay. Broker dealers here, again, 50 MA test, and then that got a bid there. That's firming up. If this consolidates, it can go higher. Ultimately, I still think eventually it has come back down and test 5, but right now it's acting well. Oil here, down 2.25. So it was just extending these trend lines out here. So again, this was that previous wedge, right? I extended those out, so we're right into that right now. The strange thing about oil today, it makes me think we're going to get news over the weekend because look at yields today. Look at the TNX. Look at the dollar index, which we'll talk about in a minute. Those are pumping really hard, and oil kind of coming in at $1.67. It's a little strange to see that not get a bid, or at least have like a tailwind, right? I'm not saying it has to like rip higher, but to see it down 2.25 is a little strange for yields being up and the dollar being up as much. We'll see if they get a bounce here. I do like this level here for a bounce. On oil, there's actually a 618 right in this area, which we did pierce, this is another scalp for us earlier today. Speaking of, right there, pierce a 72, 618. It's a nice trade, but which they only filled me on half of it, but whatever. Still mad about that. But we went into this level here. We'll see if we get a bounce. If it does inch lower, you got this level down here, and I bet you that lines up perfectly with the 7.5. So there you go. So there's your levels there for oil. I do think it gets a bounce. I do think it's a little weaker now, though, on the weekly. So I do not like that weekly candle, but I do think daily, short term, you can get a little bit of a bid here. XLE also. So this is the other thing, too, is XLE is holding up. Even with oil down, up 60 bips, or I should say up 60 cents, up 75 bips. A little strange here to see oil down with that. XOP down 68 cents. Let's not make too much out of that. OIH, I think, can pierce the low, but I think that's really all the downside that's left in that. CCJ and URNM pulling back here, but there's nothing wrong with those. They can go higher. Nat gas here trying to hold the low. We'll see if they gap it down on Monday. That seems to be the trend lately. There's your double bottom. I don't know how much downside's really realistically in the cards for this right now, but it seems like the administration wants things lower, energy prices lower in an election year. I do think it comes and works its way back up into that gap in the not too distant future, though. It may have to see some downside first. Dollar index, look at they actually fixed my chart finally, at least most of it. Thanks, Thinkorswim. But nice inside bar, right? We've been talking about this for how long? Inside bar. It looked like it was going to try and break down yesterday, and then boom, big outside move. We said resistance at 104, but 104.35 is my level, and that's where I think it goes. So it may even overshoot a little bit because we've consolidated for so long here. But yeah, nice move there for the dollar, and it's acting well. It's causing gold to back off. Yields are also causing gold to back off. I've been talking about this too. This is why I've been kind of hesitant to call a gold breakout here. I do think it can break out this year, but I don't think it does in quarter one because I think yields are going to be a problem. I don't know how many times I've said that, but probably enough. 2075, good resistance level, and it's backing off that. Structurally, there's no problems with gold, though. It looks fine on the weekly, looks fine on the monthly, but it may have to do more backing and filling if yields start to really pump back up. Silver did a lot of damage. Said this had such a good candle yesterday, and then came right back in today with volume too. So just be aware. I'd kind of give it a bear bias here. You got to hold these lows here, otherwise it's going down to 2150, which I do think is really good support. But definitely a weak showing there for silver. Platinum backing off as well. I don't think there's much downside in that or palladium, as you guys know. I think there's more downside in gold, silver, because they're much closer to resistance than support. That doesn't mean I'm bearish on either of those. It just means that I think they may do more backing and filling. Copper here down 3 cents. That would be ridiculous. Down 3 cents, and let's not make too much out of that. It's just a chop fest here. I don't really have anything good or bad to say about it. You could make a case. You might have a little head and shoulder starting there if we do come down. So we'll keep that on watch. That does not give you a license to short it. It's got to trigger first. This is not even a pattern until it triggers. But if it does, that'd probably take us down into, probably past 350 or right near 350. All right, Bitcoin is still holding up, right? So nice little inside bar pattern there. Again, a lot of resistance with that red bar, but this is holding up okay. If it consolidates more, it's going to 46. And that's all you really need to know right now. If it starts to slip and we close the week below 39,983, then it's in corrective mode. All right, again, so markets here, let's see where we're at. And just backing off a little bit here off the highs. We'll see if they pump it up. We got 30 minutes left here, so we'll see if they try to hit that futures level of 5,000. Again, it's not that far away. We got all the way up to 49.97.75. So one more little spike should do it there for the futures. But again, we'll look for, that 5,000 handle to get probably early next week. With the, again, a lot lighter economic data. We had a lot this week. So there's not really going to be that macro stuff that the market's got to worry about. The market should be able to just bid up on light volume if it wants to. But again, I'll still stick by this. We are in euphoria. Be careful with this market. If we do get high volume selling and now follow through, obviously we'd look for some type of corrective move. So anyways, guys, going to wrap up here. You guys take care. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys all next week.